Tonight on The Big Picture, special 9/11 edition. We're going to cover a lot of news that's happening. The title of tonight's show is On That Night, on That Day, Everything Changed. And I believe most people on The Big Picture know that everything is still changing. Everything we know about everything shifted. You can have conspiracy theories, you can have thoughts, but the truth is, a lot of stuff never went back to being the same. And tonight, we're going to talk about a lot of the things that are overspilled all these years later. Breaking news on The Big Picture Live Monday night. Let's do this thing. All right, everybody, welcome in. Sandy's right. I'm sorry I got the camera here on both of us. Let me go back over here just to me while she's getting ready, y'all. It's been a crazy, hectic day.
My gosh.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Help us, Jesus. But we have been through a lot of stuff, and she's coming on in, and she's going to join us in just a moment. But today is 9/11. I refuse to say happy 9/11. That's just not what it is. It's not a happy memory, even though it is a holiday that is on our calendar. Holiday meaning it shows up every year. People remember 9/11. They remember all the different things that are happening in our lives. We remember, if you were old enough, you remember exactly what you were doing during that time. I absolutely remember exactly where I was at when it became very apparent that this was not a small plane, as we were being told on the news, a small Cessna. You ready, baby? A small Cessna coming in and accidentally flying into a plane. And we realized later when we saw the gaping hole in the side of the building, this was that we were under attack. And that's what 9/11 is. That's what 9/11 is about. That's why we did the intro that we did tonight, to just sort of remember the things that happened that day. So we're going to bring the queen in here. She's going to come in here. You all right?
Thank you for your patience.
You all right? All right.
I'm good.
Okay. All right.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
A lot going on today.
A lot going on today. Today's been not only thinking about 9/11, thinking about what our family was going through during that time, our children, very small, and just we were actually at a doctor's appointment that day, sitting in a waiting room of a doctor for our child. Or it was for you.
It was for me.
It's for you, yeah.
We were all four there.
We were all four there in the waiting room, watching it on the TV there in the waiting room. And we'll talk a little bit more about what's happened today in our lives, but your thoughts on that day.
Impactful, monumental, very sad. It was just so much at one time. You were just completely overwhelmed. It's like somebody pressed pause on the movement in this country. I believe all airline travel shut down for at least a week. Wall Street, am I correct, shut down. I don't know for how long.
Yep.
And you were just stunned. You were just stunned. You didn't know what to think, how to process it. And I hate it for people that are maybe 15 years younger than us. They probably can't grasp the full impact of what we lived through. No matter how many pictures, videos, articles they ever come across. It was just such a devastating and monumental day.
And, you've heard this cliche. It's almost become a cliche now in the news. America, what little bit of innocence we had left was gone. I mean, we lost it. It was like you could just feel something shift. Now we understand. There are people that are watching us right now have all kinds of theories about what happened that day.
Yes.
There's all kinds of, was this an actual terrorist attack? Was this planned? Was this a false flag? All these different kinds of things. But the reality is tonight, what I want to say is people died. And the reality is no matter what the cause was, and we have our beliefs on what brought about that day, but the reality is this, you can't deny this. No matter what side of the theory fence you're on, the world changed. The world changed. Of course, when you had the Freedom Act come in, that removed a lot of
Patriot Act.
Patriot Act removed a lot of our freedoms and so forth.
Yes.
You can almost say that was almost the seed bed, and we're trying very careful to not dishonor this day. This is still needs to be a day that we remember. Families were forever changed. They lost people that literally they loved so much, and they were heroes on that day. There was just.
I think it's safe to say probably a lot of things changed from that day in our country.
And I think even what we just went through with the WW, a lot of the empowerment, I think we'll be honest tonight on the big picture of feeling like, we can manipulate people, came out of new government powers, regardless of what you believe caused that day. We can all agree that the government seized on that and took away freedoms. And now with every tragedy after that, more and more freedoms are taken.
I agree with that. And I would go as far as to say with every hurricane, every natural tragedy, every natural event, every military disaster, every bad thing that happens, they can go back and observe basically us. How did we respond? What took place and how do we respond to it? And they learn from it. And I think they can apply things learned in all of those events, natural disasters or whatever, to what we just came through.
Yep. And I want to make it very clear to everybody that's watching this live on the replay. We do not think that you're interpreting our words to give our opinion whatsoever. Right now, what we are talking about is that planes flew into these buildings. These buildings came down. They're not there anymore. And, 3,000 people roughly lost their lives. And a war was created. That came out of that thousands of lives were killed. And when you factor in both sides of the war, who knows how many people were killed. And so we're now in multiple wars after that. So what we're saying is this: don't try to make us say anything and get mad at us, because you're going to get mad at us on both sides.
Yes.
That's not what tonight is about. We're about to get right into the news. We're going to do what we got to do, but we want to honor this day because we honor the lives that were lost that day. We honor the heroes that did rush into the buildings.
Absolutely.
While the buildings were getting ready to come down, they were going in the buildings. And we need to never lose that. And that's why I say never forget, because we never forget the people. We never forget the lives. We never forget the sacrifice that people made on that day.
So much happened. We just wanted to take these first moments and remember. You may have lost someone. Certainly, whether you lost someone or not, you were impacted.
Yes, you were.
And we were forever impacted by that day.
Forever. So let's cover a few little things here, and we're not going to spend a lot of time on it because there's a lot of things going on, and this is only just for us to remember. These are just some images of that day. The whole world experienced the attacks of September 11th, 2001 in real time. It was the first actual disaster or attack or act of war or military action, whatever you want to call it, that we ever were able to watch in real time. Videos, photos, and audio captured the horror inflicted by Islamic terrorists and the heroism displayed by ordinary Americans forced onto the front lines of the sudden new war. In 2021, to mark the 20th anniversary of 9/11, to ensure the future generations never forget, Breitbart News, where we get this, assembled the following visuals. So we're just going to scroll through these right here and saying if you have any comments, I'm just going to scroll through them.
I've seen several of these pictures already, not all of them, because there are probably 100. I mean, there may be more than 100 pictures in this article. If I'm thinking of the one that I was.
It is the same one, yeah.
You need to show these, but some of you need to possibly prepare yourself for some of them because, it's the raw, real thing that happened that day. Meaning,
just go ahead and just put it out there, meaning that we were all watching the news, and you could tell even the newscasters were wondering what the sound was that they were hearing. That was loud. It was almost like another explosion.
Like a thud, like a loud.
It was like something impacting. Something being hit, blowing up or something, and that's when they realized it was the sound of bodies of people jumping out of the buildings. And there's just we don't want to show too much, but we don't want to forget that's what we saw. That's what we lived through. We saw people saying, I have no more hope.
Right.
And I'd rather just go out my way than to go out this way. And people were just, there's the infamous moment there that we will not comment on.
That image was seared into our minds all those years ago.
Yes.
22 years.
Unbelievable.
Right.
There's just all kinds, and we've had plenty of time for people to really digest that moment. And there's just, I'm being honest with you, a lot of things don't make sense. That's just really true. Don't make sense.
There were 2 towers, then there were none. Now there's one. We were in New York City for that one day.
Yep.
We did not have enough time to get close to the Freedom Tower, to the new tower, the new building that's there, but we certainly could see it in the distance as we were trying to.
I always dreamed, when I'd see the movies of the towers, I always dreamed of going on top of the tower. Then, of course, Home Alone. Come on. I just wanted one day, and I remember that day just thinking, this is horrible for me to think something so selfish, but I'll never get to do that. Yeah. I'll never get to see them. I'll never get to go on them. And like you said, when we were there, we saw the Freedom Tower, but all that really did for us was remind us what happened
of
right
what
there.
had happened to our country, and the fact that we would never have that opportunity to go down and see it the way it was originally. Yeah.
Well, let's get into the news tonight, and this is some 9/11 news, and I just sort of think that this administration is almost
tone deaf or something when it comes to certain things.
This is 9/11, and so Biden administration is gloating and just so proud of a new deal they made with Saudi Arabia on the 9/11 anniversary. Now, regardless of what you think about 9/11, Saudi Arabia was very, very involved to some extent, and many people that believe that is where it was orchestrated. Democratic President Joe Biden's administration has gloated about forging a new deal with Saudi Arabia on the 22nd anniversary of the 9/11 attacks. The announcement was yet another major snub from the Biden administration to victims of September 11, 2001 terror attacks, their families, and every other patriotic American. And by the way, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think he may be the first president that is not honoring them on site of one of the sites. I'm not sure of that. He was in Alaska coming back from the G20. And when he was speaking today, this was just like, somebody please help this man, okay? He's just not cognitive there. He gets up to address the troops, and instead of being somber and addressing the troops, he jokes about looking at one of the soldiers saying, boy, I wish you was on my football team when I was playing in college. We would have won the national championship, and just sort of joked about it as an opening line. And I'm just like, come on, man. Come on, get it together. And just don't act like this on 9/11. This is 9/11. And, if you got to deal with Saudi Arabia, talk about it next week. Don't talk about it and be proud of your Saudi Arabian deal today.
I think sometimes there's a lot of signaling in the actions, certainly in wording and in articles, who they're signaling sometimes and what they're exactly trying to say.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily for you and I to understand, but I think they're speaking to the group that they're trying to.
Well, part of what they're talking about here is this right here. Is Adrian Watson says this: we welcome this weekend's announcement by Saudi Arabia committing $20 billion to support President Biden's signature initiative, the Partnership for Global Infrastructure. So they couldn't keep their mouths shut on 9/11 because they're so excited. Thank you for that super chat from James. Thank you so much, James. Appreciate it so much. So, that's to me, that's just tone deaf. It's just tone deaf.
It doesn't show a lot of class, Why couldn't we wait and do this tomorrow?
Yeah, exactly.
But we had to talk about the 22nd anniversary of 9/11.
Right, exactly.
We couldn't wait. We had to do it on that day. We couldn't wait one more day. So.
Yep. All right. Well, breaking news here. We want to start with 9/11 since it was 9/11, but many of them I see in the live chat are talking about this. This is a major earthquake that happened Saturday. Morocco earthquake. Now over 2,800 confirmed killed in rare, powerful earthquake. It says that the death toll has continued to climb in the wake of the rare and powerful 6.8 magnitude earthquake that struck Morocco Friday night. More than 2,800 people are confirmed dead. The quake's Morocco's strongest in more than a century hit the country's high Atlas mountain range near Marrakech. It says here now the confirmed deaths 2,862, and the researchers have reached the epicenter. And, calls for aid going out all over the world. This is a major, major deal.
It is. There's still like 2,500 or more that are injured outside of the 2,862 people that are confirmed dead. And I believe this article was at 3:40 p.m. Eastern. So, that's... You look at these
We begin with the rising death toll from Morocco, where many residents are struggling to find food and are now sleeping outdoors after that devastating 6.8 earthquake.
Outdoors.
At least 2,100 people killed, thousands more injured. New images tonight from Marrakech. They show the moment the quake hit. People run for cover as the shaking begins. The surveillance camera is quickly obscured. Rescue teams are still searching through the rubble. One person pulled out alive from all the devastation. Our team traveled to the mountains near the epicenter. Wow. Entire villages leveled. Today, President Biden joined leaders from around the world offering assistance. ABC's Tom Sufi-Burridge leads us off tonight from.
So, yeah, just horrible. Just horrible. I mean, it just seems like earthquakes seem to be on the rise.
Right.
They really do.
Hi, Jimmy Waters. Have we seen you here before? It's great to have you tonight. Houston. Nice. It's great to see each and every one of you. It's great to have everybody on Rumble.
All right, so let's move on the news here. Let's talk about the G20 summit. The G20 summit. And you'll have to excuse me. I had to reboot my computer right before all this started, so I've got still kinds of problems popping up. The G20 summit leaders to be served meals on silver gold-plated tableware. Sandy, this is unbelievable. This is. It's a weird website here.
Somebody's really reading the room right now, right?
Yeah, they're reading the room. So while all this chaos is going on around the world, it's
a perfect time.
This is the G20. So they're telling us to
throw
eat
a gold star party.
Yeah. So they're telling us to eat the bugs.
Yeah.
And while we're eating the bugs, they are being served at the G20 steak and all the trimmings that come with steak on gold-plated plates and actual golden and silver goblets.
Yeah, of course. While we eat the bugs.
While we
on
eat
paper
the
plates.
bugs. Look at this. Look at this. Let's play this right here. This is unbelievable. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is what we are being told by these people, that we will own nothing and be happy, and they're sitting over there in India.
Well, they spare no expense.
Spare no expense. These are the people that keep telling us that we will own nothing and be happy about it.
And I think they really mean it.
I think they do mean it. And ladies and gentlemen, if it seems like we're just a little tired today, if it seems like we're dragging, that we're just not as energetic as we normally are,
we will pep up a little bit.
We will. But this has been a rough day.
It's been hard.
We had a very close friend of ours, a pastor friend of ours, pass away today suddenly. Several of you that are on here know who I'm talking about, and I want to respect their family and without saying their name. But he is local pastor here. There's a tremendous, tremendous man of God. Right. And, he just suddenly was gone.
Yeah, no warning.
On his anniversary.
No indication anything was
his 47th
going on.
wedding anniversary, and we just want to honor him. Right. If his family or somebody from his church is watching, you know that we know who it is. We just don't want to say his name.
We honor you, all of the congregation. We honor Pastor and his family. We've also been at the hospital. Some of our very special folks here.
Yep.
Brought a brand new baby into the world.
Brand new baby in the world, yes.
Only issue is she came 3 months early.
Yep. But she's strong, and she's fighting, and she's doing great.
And she's stable, and we love them.
Yes.
We're lifting you guys up.
If you're watching and listening, I'm sure they are, then
sweet baby girl.
Your pastors love you, and we're praying for you, and that girl's going to be strong. She's a world changer.
Mama's doing great.
Yep. So
baby's hanging in there.
So it might be easy for you guys to think we're just YouTubers. No, we're pastors. We're also Papa and Nana to our own grandkids, and mom and dad to our own daughters. but we're also pastors. So throughout the day, we're dealing with things that pastors deal with, and we thank God for the opportunity that He's given us.
And let's just pause on that for just a moment. If you didn't know, we're pastors. Like he said, we're pastors. And many of our congregation have been under attack, and many of you may have been under attack, or your families or your coworkers with serious sicknesses, cancer, disease, all kinds of things going on. And it's very serious right now. Yeah. And we feel for all of you out there who are struggling with health problems.
There's the daddy.
Nice.
Mom, I got to flash this up here. I got to show you. This is the daddy.
Oh, my goodness.
This is the daddy. This is of the baby.
Oh, forgive
Mama
me
and baby is great. You're going to make me cry, son.
If we start crying.
Oh.
Woo.
That is what
Thank you, Anthony. I needed
Anthony.
that.
That's the daddy.
I needed that.
That's the daddy of the baby. Oh, my goodness. Wow. What a blessing to know that right now live, he is watching this show.
God is good.
Yeah, son, I'm so proud, and
God is good.
Danielle, we love you. We're so proud of you. Sorry, big picture. As we digress, these are our spiritual kids here, and we just
wanted to
love
make
them.
sure you knew we are human, not robots.
Yeah, exactly.
We are experiencing life the same as you.
Yes, absolutely. Well, speaking of life, we want to say thank you to all our partners.
Yes.
You are just amazing.
Love those partners.
I mean, every single week we're seeing more and more partners coming on board. And we just thank you so much for that. And we also want to say thank you to our Rumble folks that are watching over on Rumble. You guys are amazing. And your numbers are growing fast. So if you don't already follow us on Rumble, go to rumble.com/Larry Ragland, and we would appreciate that. Let's get back into the news. There's still a war going on, y'all. There's crazy wars going on. Yeah. And look at this. In the middle of everything, while the G20 is going on, NATO, and we thought this was an actual replay article because a few weeks ago we covered the largest military operation in NATO that happened, I believe, just like in the last couple of weeks. Am I right?
I thought it was on August, maybe July.
Okay. And now, once again, they've upped it again. NATO commences SNAP Northern Coast exercise in Baltic Sea. And it says, on September 9th, NATO began a SNAP military exercise named Northern Coast in the Baltic Sea near St. Petersburg, Russia. This exercise involved about 30 ships and more than 3,000 NATO members. It will, for the first time, practice how to respond to a Russian assault in the region.
Do you have the map? Was there a map in this story? Okay.
There it is.
This is unbelievable. Go all the way up to St. Petersburg.
Okay.
This is where they're going to be conducting this exercise, I believe, in this area.
Right in here around Finland? Where it says St. Petersburg? Right
St.
here?
Petersburg. I believe the article will go on to say that. St. Petersburg, Russia.
Yeah, so there's Moscow. So you can see how close it is. There's where the region is.
You already said 30 ships, 3,000 service members will be there. But that's making me a little nervous.
Yeah, and
what?
They're practicing a response to Russia.
We're just going to tiptoe up to near St. Petersburg and do some exercises? Yeah, that sounds great.
And here's another article on it. It's the biggest military drill since the Cold War.
Yes.
It's the biggest since the Cold War started. That's when we were in high school. That was the 80s.
Is this the same article? Or?
This is a different article, but talking about the same thing. It's a different article.
Are you sure? Because this is called Northern Coast.
Okay.
The last one is Northern Coast.
What is this one called?
Steadfast Defender, I believe.
All right. Well, then this is a different one then.
Because
this is a different one.
There are 50 ships and 40,000 troops.
Okay. So this is the first one
in this exercise.
And it's called Northern Coast. And then this one is, what is it called? It says NATO.
Steadfast Defender.
All right, Steadfast Defender. So
is that right?
Wow. So let's read it. NATO will stage the largest drill since the Cold War era involving tens of thousands of troops in Germany, Poland, and the Baltics. I thought it was the same one. It may not be. The financial.
It's confusing. If it is, it's very confusing.
All right, intended to boost NATO's readiness for such a scenario with the war in Ukraine, the Steadfast Defender drills involved 41,000 troops, more than 50 ships, and between 500 and 700 combat air missions. So it is two different ones. And it says it simulates a full-scale clash with a fictional coalition named AUKUS. They said the war games are seen as a key part of demonstrating to Moscow that the allegiance is prepared to fight.
Or maybe it is the same thing. I don't know. It's confusing. It sounds like it's in the same area, but there are two different names. I don't know. It's confusing. Let's just suffice it to say, OMG.
A lot of stuff's going on. Suffice it to say,
we're doing all these exercises.
We're doing a lot of drills.
A lot of exercises.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is crazy.
That along with, the continued stories that we personally hear and articles we read, things that we've heard going back several months that we will be at war.
Yeah. Yeah.
Basically within months from right now.
Well,
it's
speaking of
very upsetting.
Speaking of that, we've been told by very reliable sources, anonymous sources that are in the know, that we are going to war with China. And every week, Sandy, we hear more things that confirm that intelligence that was given to us. And this week, this article comes out in the Christian Post, Pentagon reportedly eyeing massive drone program to strike 1,000 targets in 24 hours in potential war with China. I thought that was interesting because what we were told in the scenarios that were ran that we lose every time, the first 24 hours was the most critical and that we would have lost the most in the first 24 hours. And here we see them saying, well, we're going to use drones instead of people. And it just sort of...
And they say 24 hours. I mean... Question mark, that just puts a big question mark over this whole thing. Okay, are you saying that to throw us off the trail or to confuse us? I mean, maybe this is really possible and doable, but 24 hours?
Yeah.
That's a familiar
Prophecy experts says use of drone technology may point to coming tribulation period. This right here was really stark to us because we know some people that are in this particular part of the military, of the drone control. The United States military may soon have the capability to attack its adversaries in thousands of drones simultaneously in a development that could not just have geopolitical but prophetical consequences as well. And we certainly believe that. But it says that there'll be 1,000 targets in a 24-hour period using cheap drones. Cheap drones, according to a report from U.S. defense industry trade expert Defense One. Well, it depends on what you would call cheap, I would think. I think cheap to us would not be what cheap to the military is.
Exactly.
But that's what we're looking at. We're looking at more and more. We're ramping up. Ramping up for China.
Does this go on to say this is just a land attack, or does this include over water as well?
I have no idea.
A lot of stuff. What? You don't know every single detail?
Come on, baby. Work with me here. This has been a rough day. North Korean leader Kim Jong Un is headed for Russia, setting the stage for a meeting with Putin.
Yes.
South Korea, North Korean leader Kim Jong Un has departed from Russia on a train. Okay, and that was interesting to me.
We talked about the story last week about Korea.
Yeah, that they were going to meet.
North Korea,
they were going
China.
to meet. Yeah.
Also touched on Russia as well.
Yeah, that they were staging a meeting. I just thought it was interesting that he's taking a train to Russia. North Korean leader Kim Jong Un has departed from Russia, where he expected to hold a rare meeting with President Vladimir Putin that has sparked Western concerns about a potential arms deal for Moscow's war in Ukraine. North Korean officials news agency said Tuesday that Kim boarded his personal train from the capital, Pyongyang, on Sunday afternoon, and that he was accompanied, I don't care, by unspecified members, I'm going to say it Alabama style, of the country's ruling party, government, military. It is Pyongyang. You hear me? You hear me? It's Pyongyang. Somebody help me out in the comment section. It's Pyongyang.
I mean, that's pretty close.
Okay, is that pretty close? All right.
Pyongyang.
So the what we're trying to talk about is you've got North Korea that everybody forgot about.
Hey guys, they're still out there.
What did Trump call him?
Little Kim.
No, something about Missile Boy or something. I can't remember.
Rocket Man.
Rocket Man. Yeah, that's it. Rocket Man. Rocket Man. I don't know the rest of the song. But yeah. Rocket Man is on his way to Red Square to try to get a deal while we are sending billions of dollars to Ukraine.
Yep. Little Kim. This ought to be interesting.
Yeah, and then while we're doing all that, look what else we're doing. The United States moves to advance prisoner swap with Iran, the sworn enemy of Israel, and the number one provider of terrorism in the world. And then when they swap these prisoners, it will release another $6 billion for Iranians to use. We already put billions of dollars of cash pallets on a plane and flew them over. Cash. Do you remember that? It was pallets of cash.
Yeah.
Pallets of cash. I'm not talking about it was a wire transfer. It was pallets of cash on a military cargo plane that we took to Iran, a part of this Iran deal, which is a joke. And now we're trying to swap prisoners and give them another $6 billion.
Why not?
This is insane to me. This is insane. We are in an insane world being led in the United States of America by I'm trying.
Either crazy people or people that have an agenda to destroy this country.
I think there is a true agenda to destroy this country. Would you agree in the live chat? There is a true agenda to destroy this country. Things are planned. We're trying to be good. We're trying to be good boys and girls here on this day that we honor this day.
Right.
And not talk about agendas. But there is agendas.
There are agendas.
Come on. There is agendas.
You are so right. So many agendas.
My God.
You know, who was it that said, did Russia just come out and say we will destroy the U.S. from within?
Yeah.
Well, they've certainly been trying to do that for a long time. I believe they've absolutely introduced people into this country, sleepers, if you want to use that term, that work in the government. They work in very important sectors.
Absolutely.
They've gained influence. They're spies. They've done things to help bring this country down.
But, we keep being told that Ukraine is going to win this war. We keep sending money while Maui is burning and natives of Hawaii are losing everything. They're getting $700 one time. We're sending billions of dollars. And look at this. We keep being told that we're going to win this war, this proxy war that we're fighting. The largest Ukrainian ammo depot was destroyed yesterday just outside of Kiev. About 3 a.m. local time in Kiev, Ukraine, about 10 Russian drones struck the largest ammunition depot in the country. Guess who put all that ammunition in there? We did. Guess who bought all that ammunition? We did. And we just watched it obliterate itself.
Yep.
And we just got through saying our own president said we're running out of ammunition. And they're running out of ammunition, and they get bombed. It says, despite the ammunition vaults being almost 50 yards apart, buried and protected by steel doors, explosion after explosion rocked the facility.
Oh, I'll bet.
Exactly. NASA satellites recorded at least 10 distinct areas of ongoing fire and numerous secondary explosions.
My goodness.
With the loss of this vast stockpile of what little ammunition Ukraine had left, it is now believed that Kiev can no longer be defended for lack of ammunition if the city is attacked directly by armed force manpower.
Which it probably will be now that this has happened.
The image below is updated from NASA FIRMS, which is Fire Information for Resource Management System. It shows red squares for each distinct large fire the satellite sensors can identify. Below is the image of the ammo depot south of Kiev hit by the Russians at 3 o'clock this morning. You can see it. It's just, but we keep being told, we got this. We got this. We got to win this war. We got to win this war.
They're going to pull it out after one. They're going to be able to do it. But come on, one thing after another. But it won't stop us from sending more and more money.
Because why? It is the war machine, right? Yes. It is all about money. It's about we're sending money so others can make money. while Americans can't pay their bills. Don't get me started. Up in here, up in here. Y'all gonna make me lose my mind. Honestly, I've never heard the song in my life. Somebody said that to me years ago, and I turned it into a preacher joke.
Yeah, and you reached way back for that one.
I reached way back. I don't know how far I reached back because I never listened to the song, but I just know part of that song says, y'all gonna make me lose my mind. Up in here, up in here. That's all I know. That's all I know.
Oh, my goodness. Thank God.
I'm trying, Sandy, to bring us back. I'm trying to bring us back from this darkness.
Well,
there's light.
We started out with no wide awake coffee, so that should have been an indicator.
We need that. We need that deal.
I had
wide
some
awake coffee. What's wrong with you?
I had some coffee earlier, but it wasn't wide awake. But,
Let me tell you something else that I need to tell you about. Tomorrow night, if you're watching this live, tomorrow night, you're going to get stirred up because at 7 p.m. Central Time, I'm going to have Pastor Miles Rutherford on here. Thank you for that super chat, James. Man, that's the second one you did tonight. He said you pressed the wrong button. Sorry. Take it back. Take it back. We'll send you a refund if it was an accident. But tomorrow night, author of a brand new book called Raise Your Voice, Pastor Miles Rutherford, We Will Not Comply. I wish I had some people that was in the comment section in the live chat that would just type all that up that says we will not comply. Just type it. We will not comply. And I think everybody knows what we're talking about when we say we will not comply. So let's continue because, we want to talk about World War III, but everybody talks about it. Well, we'll never see World War III. Well, Ukrainian Secretary and Defense Chief says that World War III, the Ukrainian Secretary of Defense says that World War III has already begun and has been in hybrid state.
Hybrid state.
Think about the wording. In hybrid state until now. This is the Ukrainian. This is not Alex Jones. This is not some tinfoil hat or some crazy show. It's not big picture.
Yeah. He's basically saying, psst, hey, I'm going to tell you what nobody else wants to say.
We're in World War III, but don't tell anybody. If somebody thinks that the conflict in Ukraine is about settling scores between Kiev and Moscow, then it's a mistake. Things are much more complicated. Thank you for that super chat.
Yes.
Patricia, y'all blessing us tonight, man.
Miss Patricia.
Things are much more complicated. Oleski Danilov, and thank you for that super sticker. Thank you. Recently stated, did I do good on that one?
That was good.
Thank you. Open forum discussing the war. And we got another super sticker from Pamela. Woo! Woo! I just got to do this, y'all. Y'all just must be. You know what it is. They feel sorry for us.
They feeling it tonight.
They're feeling sorry for us. They're like, we need to cheer them up.
We can't hold your hand or pat you on the hand, so we're gonna do something.
That's just such a blessing. We got Saul. Thank you, Saul. Saul Jose.
Nice.
Thank you. My God. Well, let's just pause right here and just thank all the. No.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. A lot of folks are saying we will not comply.
That's right. We will not comply. Come on, we will not comply.
I like it.
The Secretary-Chief of Ukraine recently stated in an open forum discussion that the war and future of the nation, that World War III has already begun. And anyone who does not realize this is foolish to believe so. That's amazing to me that he openly said that. He went on to insist that World War III is already way, but has been in a hybrid state for a little bit until now. If someone thinks, it goes on to say, things are much more complicated. I haven't seen anything like this since World War II. The Russians are not particularly impressive in the terms of knowledge or performance on the battlefield, but they have created a rather outstanding defense system, and it's quite difficult to punch it through. Yeah. So the people that we talk to privately that we can't really say a lot of things. Thank you for that super chat. Another one I saw, oh man, they're blessing us tonight. They tell us, they've told us this, that we're already in World War III, and that it is just a matter of, we're fighting it through drones, we're fighting it through AI, we're fighting it through technology and all of this, but it will not be long that we'll be fighting it through actual people.
So people that I listen to also say Russia's not brought out the good stuff yet.
Yeah, exactly.
They've only been using their B class or their second class or their old equipment, that they have much better armament that they could use. So I actually don't want to see that.
No, I don't.
I actually don't want to see them prove people wrong. But
And you know, they have this one weapon that's called Satan II.
Yeah.
That is supposed to be truly satanic because of what it can do. It literally can launch like 30 separate small nuclear warheads all at one time. From one missile.
Unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. But there's an interesting thing that happened in the war with Russia and Ukraine this week. I don't know if you heard about this, Sandy, or if the people that are watching heard about this. But Ukraine was getting ready to go in and launch a major attack into Russian territory, and this happened. This is so interesting that this went down, and Secretary Blinken was asked about this at the G20 today. Blinken punts, meaning he just sort of deflects the question on whether Elon Musk sabotaged the Ukrainian war effort. Quote, it sounds like Starlink's so important that the U.S. government doesn't want to risk offending a capricious billionaire. This is actually, I'm going to play this.
It's like Starlink's so important the U.S. government doesn't want to risk offending a capricious billionaire.
That was CNN. And what he was trying to push on Blinken there is that it goes on to say that Secretary of State Anthony Blinken sidestepped questions on Sunday about reports that SpaceX CEO Elon Musk crippled the Ukrainian war efforts by not enabling Starlink internet access for a key drone attack on a Russian fleet. Blinken was asked on CNN State of the Union about excerpts from a recent biography of the tech guru claimed that he rankled. Thank you for that super chat. Another one by Saul. Man, you're on fire tonight. Rankled U.S. officials by not responding to their request to use Starlink for the attacks in the Black Sea. I can't speak on a specific episode, Blinken said. Starlink has been a vital tool for Ukrainians to be able to communicate with each other through particularly the military to communicate in their efforts to defend Ukrainians' territory. So what happened is they're getting ready. The only way they could communicate is with Starlink. And Elon Musk goes on to say, the billionaire said last week, that officials wanted him to provide an internet access all the way to Sevastopol, a city near Crimea, which Russia annexed in 2014. The internet access would have presumably been used to help orchestrate a major raid. Musk declined to provide the access, keen on avoiding having SpaceX, quote, complicit in a major act of war and conflict escalation. And, you know, I get what he's saying. He's saying, look, military, you should have figured this out on your own. Yeah. I'm not taking my company and being the reason that you were able to launch this attack and have to take a side. Yep. And what did America do? America and American media is coming after him because it's not helping the narrative. Yep. Was that crazy? Had you heard about that?
No, I hadn't heard that at all. Not at all.
That is crazy. Elon Musk is something, man. I'll tell you, I don't. He's either the free speech guru or he's the Antichrist. Or maybe something in the middle. I mean, I don't know what to think about this dude.
I don't know about that either. But let's just wait till Halloween and see if him and his mama dress up again like they did last year.
What did they dress up like? I forgot.
Something satanic.
You can't even say it.
Well. It was just very dark.
Did you say him and his mama or him and his baby mama? His mama? Yeah. Him and his mama?
She still likes to party, too.
Oh, my Lord. I'm glad I don't know what you're talking about because I ain't got no kind of image in my mind.
I'm sure if you Google, you can find many, many pictures. So.
Don't nobody Google it and put it in the comments. I don't want to see what Elon Musk and his mama dressed up together.
Yeah, well, and his last baby mama. Isn't she some kind of...
How many baby mamas he got?
I don't know, but what'd they name the last one?
It's like about 250 letters or something.
An elf.
He's an elf? He named it after an elf? Sandy.
What?
You serious?
No. I mean, what is the thing about elvish name, or she speaks an elvish language?
Oh, God. I'm moving on. I ain't speaking.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. But he does have like 7 children.
Elon.
5 or 7 children.
Elon, you were asked on the show, are you a Christian? And you said you was open to it. Elon, get saved.
Yeah.
We need Elon. We need Elon to get saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost. Increasing danger for warrior. My mind is not working tonight. Increasing danger for war on Israel is coming in weeks. So while we're talking about war in Ukraine, talking about war with China, Israel is preparing for war. They're preparing for war from people all around them. There are signs that are growing that suggest a war on Israel could break out as early as in the next few months. An analysis from the Middle East Research Institute notes that radical organizations like Hamas and Hezbollah are not eager to begin a comprehensive confrontation with Israel, but there have been growing indications that a war with Israel may break out in September or October of 2023. Well, let me just tell you that this thank you for another super chat from Saul. God is going to bless you, son.
That's awesome.
He's going to bless you. But let me just tell you what's happening in Israel. This coming Friday is, I believe, the Feast of Trumpets of Rosh Hashanah, and it's at sundown, and that's going to just, yes, Anthony said, we don't need no war here in Warrior. That's where I'm from in Warrior. I got Warrior on my mind. But so the Bible tells us to watch Israel.
Yes.
And we have people that we have friends that have intelligence in Israel, and they're telling us the same thing. Pastor Paul Begley was on my show just this past week, and he was talking about that. He was talking about a treaty that is about to happen at the United Nations that is going to combine every treaty that's ever been made into one big treaty.
Oh my goodness, I remember that.
And part of those treaties are condemnations of the nation of Israel. So it's like it's going to be United Nation law officially as one big treaty to be against Israel. And I know some of them is going to take it as empowerment to launch an attack against Israel. But I got news for you. They better watch out because Israel, you don't mess with Israel. That's already proven. Not just because they have an amazing military, not just because they have nuclear weapons, but because they are still God's chosen people.
Billy Mitchell's throwing some of the names of the kids.
Is this real? Wait a minute. Billy?
Have you fact-checked this?
Oh, you know he has. He named one of his kids X, and then he named his platform after his kid? That's why. Okay, so he's going to inherit it. Billy. I think that is probably right. Their names are X. What is that? Alpha and Omega? X the dark sidereal. What? Techno Mechanus? What is happening here?
Oh my gosh.
Pronunciation of Saul is Saul, like King Saul. No, I think it's Saul, JD. I'm not sure. Saul or Saul? Tell us how to pronounce your name because we want to honor you, man. You are blowing up the super chats tonight. It's amazing.
Goodness.
But the good thing is, yes, sir. He said he has fact checked that. Billy has.
Nice, nice work.
We're all over the place tonight. We're just, I don't. Is this show going to survive? I don't know.
I wish somebody would come around with a hospitality cart. We need some snacks.
We are so depleted right now.
Surely it's about to be get the popcorn time any second.
We didn't get to have lunch. I didn't get to have coffee.
No.
Lord have mercy. I didn't.
Surely you had coffee.
Not before the show. I'm operating on caffeineless.
This
is pure Holy Ghost.
Absolutely certain.
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah,
U.S. depletes its strategic oil reserves. Good news, right?
We had somebody in chat several minutes ago say that strategic oil reserve will be depleted by October 24th.
Yeah, I think that's what we're talking about. Oil prices are more than likely set to rise further as Saudi Arabia recently reaffirmed their production cuts, a time when the United States and the Biden administration has drained the nation's strategic petroleum reserves.
The same Saudi Arabia?
That we just talked about.
We just talked about when we opened this show?
Suddenly announced that they would begin production cuts by hundreds of millions of barrels a day. Now, Saudi Arabia, the juggernaut of OPEC, recently announced these productions extend all the way into 2024. Of course. And then it says, but we began to, let's get down to here. This past Friday, September 4, oil prices reached a new high for 23 at $85. Crude oil reached $87 the same day, yet another record on the year. And a big factor of the rising price of crude oil are the falling inventories of the United States. Let's keep in mind that 3 years ago, 3.5 to 4 years ago, maybe a little over 4 years ago, the United States of America, under the previous administration, you can take that for whatever you want, was energy independent.
Exactly.
Thank you for another What is going on?
You need to make
Saul?
sure your kid doesn't have your phone and he's playing with your phone or something.
Saul.
No, we love it.
Okay, look, he says Saul. He gave a super chat and then he explained his name. And we just owe him this here. Yes. Saul for my American friends. Saul for my Latino friends. Pastor Larry, you can call me whatever.
Oh,
I love you.
Nice.
I love you.
So sweet.
I'm going to call you Saul. Saul. But you ain't like Saul of Tarsus or King Saul.
Leanne said she just had her popcorn.
Oh, yeah. Y'all. Well, I'm glad y'all eating.
Yeah.
All right. So, Sandy, can I get my head straight?
Probably not.
Okay.
I'm not sure
this is a crazy night, y'all. This is going to go down in history tonight as one of the craziest big
We just had one go down in history.
Let's just keep making them go down in history. Maybe we'll grow this channel. A big factor in the rising crude costs are the falling inventories of the United States, which dipped another 10.6 million barrels, according to the Energy Information Administration, for August 25th. But what I was saying is, Sandy, we were energy independent. We told Saudi Arabia, we told OPEC about 4 to 4.5 years ago, do what you want to do. We don't care. We are producing enough oil right now in our own to do what we want to. And I want to ask if
what a difference a day makes.
If Saul, are you the Saul that I know? Are you the Saul that's got my jacket, that I gave my jacket to? If not, then you just are blessing me. But I just want to know if that's the same Saul, because somebody said that I know this Saul. I want to make sure that if this is the Saul that I know.
That'd be so cool.
If it is, it might not be. And if it's not, and by the way, if it's not, if I didn't give my jacket to you, you don't have to give us another super chat to tell us that. You've been such a blessing tonight. You can just let us know.
Well, you are starting to have jackets littered all across the state and the country.
I've given every jacket I got away.
Really? You don't have any left?
My goodness, I don't have any black jackets left. Look, people are having fun tonight with us, y'all. Y'all, they're having tomato sandwiches.
What?
People
Stop
talking
about all your food.
Popcorn, tomato sandwich. We didn't get dinner.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, all right. So let's get back to the news. That ain't why they're here. They're not here to hear us talk about it. This is ridiculous, ain't it? This woman, what in the world? New Mexico, another super chat. What in the world? I'll stop it all for you, brother. He says, I just want to show how apologetic I am for never being on live. Also, I want to sow it to this man and woman of God. And yes, you were at my. It's the one.
It's him.
It's my song.
That's great.
I thought that might be you. I love you,
Man.
son. Your son.
That's cool.
Look, Saul, here's another one. I just gave another jacket to Anthony.
Yeah.
Yeah, your jackets are much appreciated. Oh, Lord have mercy. Saul, I love you, son. I remember that night, Sandy, I got to tell you this, and I digress, and then we'll get back to the news. I had never met him before, and I was preaching at another church, and I saw this young man, and I saw the power of God all over him, and I just heard the Lord say, give him your jacket. And I went down there and gave him my jacket, and we just connected. We've been connected ever since. And, I was there for his ordination. I laid hands on him later on at his home church and ordained him. What a blessing, Saul. You are. So I don't have to worry about calling you Saul. Well, I know who you are, Saul.
That's great.
So I just want to make sure that was you.
I love that story.
All right, let's get back to this because this is crazy. The New Mexico governor just decided on her own that she was going to override the Constitution. Why does she feel so empowered, Sandy, to override the Constitution? Could it be that so many other emergency powers now is overriding our constitutional right?
Number one, there's an epidemic of that, but probably she wasn't prepared for what was about to happen next.
Yeah, exactly. So New Mexico governor issues orders suspending the right to carry firearms in public across Albuquerque. New Mexico Governor Michelle Grisham on Friday issued an emergency order. That's what they do now. When they want to get new powers, it's just an emergency order, suspending the right to carry firearms in public across Albuquerque and the surrounding county for at least 30 days. So for 30 days, you're going to solve the world's crime issues by just telling the good criminals to not carry guns.
Yeah, that's her side of it. That's what she had to say about it.
Yeah.
And then guess what the sheriff said?
Yes, exactly. Is that another article of this article? The firearms suspension classified an emergency. Okay, there it is. But Albuquerque Police Chief Harold Medina said he will not enforce it. And Bernalillo County Sheriff John Allen said he's uneasy about it because it raises too many questions about constitutional rights. You think? I saw the greatest little comedian thing about the Second Amendment. He's doing a stand-up, and he goes, "Listen, people, you want to try to take the guns away?" He said, "It's the second thing we wrote." He goes, think about it.
Right.
Of all the things we wrote,
It was number 2.
it was the second thing we wrote. He said, and the first thing we wrote was we need freedom of press and we need freedom of religion. And then he said, so the reason they wrote the second, he goes, we probably need to write this second to make sure we keep the first.
There you go.
And he goes, you're trying to tell us that we don't have it's the second thing we wrote. And that means that was that important. And it wasn't a Second Amendment right to have arms to go hunting. That was not a hunting amendment. That was, and by the way, it wasn't necessarily even a right to protect yourself from criminals. Oh, I'm going to get in trouble. I know when I say this. Because yes, that's what it's for too.
Come on.
But the Second Amendment was put in there to protect your family.
There you go.
From the government.
Exactly. And as in a lot of countries would be screaming at us saying, yeah, this precedes the total control, grab of all of your freedoms when you allow them to take your guns. We don't want to become, Australia, all the tyranny, all the oppression that's going on down there.
Exactly.
It's exactly what they want.
And you know, if they take your right to protect yourself, then there is no way to defend the First Amendment or any other amendment. And the truth is, you know, we're not talking about, you know, just people that has mental illness going out and being able to do whatever they want to do. Yeah. We're talking about law-abiding citizens of the United States and of other countries that might have it. A lot of countries don't have what we have, and we take it for granted.
So she wanted to propose a 1 month or a 30
days. 30 days. And when the liberal reporters were pushing back on her, she was just like, they was like, how do you defend this? It's in the Constitution. Yes. This is what she said, but all constitutional rights are not absolute.
Right.
And she said, and where in the world did you think she got this knowledge? Mm-hmm. She said, I have executive privilege to create an executive emergency that gives me powers. Do you understand? That's the same thing the governor in Hawaii just said. I watched it. You saw me come in. You go, what are you watching? Yes. I said, I'm watching a live press conference with the governor of Hawaii. And you know what the governor of Hawaii said there? He said, we are not allowing some of these things that we're allowing because we declared, listen, I couldn't believe he said it. He said, it is a climate emergency in Maui. And I have declared an emergency proclamation that gives me powers because of climate change and global warming. And he said, who knew? He was so proud of himself. He goes, who knew that I, this little mayor of this little state, would ever be invited to speak to the United Nations? He said, but next week I'll be speaking to the United Nations, and I'm going to tell them through our tragedy and through our pain, I don't want them to experience what we've experienced. So I will be speaking on you must attack climate change now. Literally said that instead of caring for the people of his own state.
When we started talking a lot more about this green gospel, about this climate change, a couple of months ago, it hasn't been that long ago, and we were talking about how one of the next crises was going to be concerning or framed around climate.
Yeah.
And they were going to try to impose shutdowns, lockdowns.
Yeah.
My mind could not grasp that.
It's here.
I listened to what the article was and everything you were saying, and I was like, "Come on, there's no way." But we're literally seeing these people stand up that have some kind of authority. I don't know if you can scroll back up and grab Billy Mitchell's comment. It goes along the lines of this article we're talking about with this 30-day. And gun control. Remember what I was telling you yesterday or Saturday? I was reading that story to you, a local story about the 6-year-old boy.
Oh, yeah, about the finger gun.
And the finger gun at one of our local schools.
And by the way, it's not funny, but that's a funny thing to people at my church because
it's not funny.
I don't, and it's not the article.
No.
But the whole thing about finger guns, because I don't know how to say that.
Well, you didn't.
I try to tell people, look at your neighbor and tell him, welcome to church. And I say, shoot him with a love pistol, shoot him with a gun, the gun greeting. And then I still ain't figured out what it's actually called.
Finger gun.
Is it really called that? Okay. Yeah. So this kid, this 6-year-old kid,
yeah,
Class 3 offense,
right,
on Fox News,
right,
was suspended for a finger gun.
Right. I don't know if any
We've
of
lost
you.
our mind.
I don't know if any of you know the Economic Ninja, which is another channel out there. He was even. Did I tell you that he was even talking about it? He was on one of his rants, just sick of all this crazy stuff and stupid decisions that are going on in our country, and he commented on it as well. I had no idea this was a thing until I was seeing other people from other states talk about it on YouTube. I mean, it's just insane.
Yeah, and I see also, that several people talking about the alert that's going to come out.
Yes.
That people we're talking about control. We're talking about shutdowns. This alert that's going to come out on October 4th,
yeah,
I believe it's at 1:20 Central Time, is going to override, even if you've opted out of emergency alerts, Amber Alerts, and all of this, if your phone is on silent, if your phone is on mute, if your computer's on mute, on your TV, on your radio, every means of communication at the same time is going to override your opt-outs, and everybody's going to get a test alert. For what? What are we testing on that level, Sandy, for?
Did you receive the one several years ago?
I did.
I received it, but everybody did not receive
everybody
that
didn't
one.
receive it,
They
but I
didn't
received
receive it.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting, and it makes me think, are people going to take pause when their phone, when they don't even know this is getting ready to happen, and they receive it on their phones, but like you said, their phone's set to silent, their phone's maybe set to not be able to receive these types of things. What are they going to be thinking?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. What are they going to think?
Is it going to make people think, wait a minute, how did that just happen?
Yeah.
How were they able to do that?
Right.
Well, let's just go ahead and go full bore.
Just go there, baby.
Crazy, cray.
Go.
Okay. So you all should know there are cameras in your televisions watching you, cameras in your Nest thermometers, as well as they're tracking every digital thing having to do with that. They're watching you.
Yep.
Your appliances are talking to each other from
Absolutely.
the Internet of Things.
Yep.
Say you decide to not pay your power bill, or you can't pay your power bill. Nobody has to show up at your door to turn anything off or climb a pole to disconnect you. No.
Yes.
We just go inside your account and click a mouse.
She's speaking truth, y'all. She's speaking truth. And and if you think that they're not listening and watching everything, that is that's a brother right there, Radio Face. He's called Radio Face because he's got a radio voice, y'all.
Yes.
He's awesome.
It's cool, dude.
And so
it is. They are tracking.
They are tracking.
But they're not just tracking. They're recording.
Yep.
They're recording everything you say and do.
But the question is about October 4th. Why do you have to make sure, government, that it has the ability to be on everything at the same time? It'd be like if you're going to roll it out, TVs and internet this week and next month we're going no everything at one time. It's like somebody needs to know we have to have the ability to find you. And we go back to the movies, the programming. I mean, how many times have we seen the dystopian world where everybody's outside and there's giant screens and all of a sudden the government turns on a camera, overrides everything. They're watching exercise videos and all of a sudden, boom, everything's overridden and there's this giant face. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone go in your homes right now. It's like we are being prepared for that. And you think about what just happened in Hawaii. Think about it wasn't that long ago that there was a false incoming missile warning.
We're coming up on about, What year was that?
I don't remember, but they were told you have X amount of minutes basically to tell your family goodbye.
Oh, yeah.
You can't get off this island, and people went into a panic mode.
Oh, they were running and scrambling, going through procedures that they have for tsunamis that come in. But then later, oh, I'm so sorry. This person's been fired, but he pressed the wrong button. False alarm. Sorry, guys.
Wow. Well, the Bible says there'll be signs everywhere. Another sign says there'll be signs in the heavens and the earth beneath. And out of nowhere, a surprise comet is about to be seen. If you're watching this live, I believe tomorrow night. Comet Nishimura, now or never, if you want to see it. It won't return for another 400 years. Nishimura, a newly discovered comet, green in color. It's going to be cool. I hope we get to see it. And about a half a mile in size, will reach its closest point to Earth on next week before racing around the sun and back out into space. Weather permitting, you should be able to see the comet before dawn.
Goodness.
But don't wait, because it won't be around. It's traveling at 240,000 miles an hour. It won't be back for another 400 years.
No biggie.
It says it will come within 78 million miles of us Tuesday. Its orbit has been mapped, and it isn't considered a threat. Skywatchers have been photographing the comet on its approach, coming up with some stunning images. That looks pretty cool right there.
It does.
So it's green in color, and I think that's just really what's going to make it cool.
That's cool.
It says it should rise about 4:20 a.m. local time today. By Sunday, it should appear around 5 a.m. So the best time to see it is before sunrise, low in the sky near the constellation Leo.
Was it Hale-Bopp?
Oh,
1996.
Hale-Bopp. Oh, yeah.
How many of you out there were able to see Hale-Bopp?
Hale-Bopp was awesome.
1996. That was so cool to stand outside and, just see it slowly moving across the sky.
Now, for some people, it wasn't good, because for some people it was a part of a cult that they were believing they were going to catch a UFO and leave. And
yeah, they did leave us.
They left.
But not on the UFO.
They didn't leave on the UFO. That's sad, boy. There's a lot of stuff happened in our life that we've forgotten about, really.
So many things.
But while all of that's going on, there's the wah that's making a return. And by the way, you need to go to the CDC's website. Do you hear me, YouTube? Go to the CDC's website and read what they say about the wah and the wah sticks and all this other stuff. It's pretty amazing what the CDC is saying. The CDC on their website, by the way, YouTube, everything that I'm saying now is on the CDC website. I would like to say again, everything that I'm saying is on the CDC website, and I am quoting the CDC. The CDC says on their website that those that have got the wah are more likely to get the wah jab, is more likely to get the new wah variant. And when you go to Pfizer and Moderna's website and learn about the new booster, they say on their website that it treats the last variant that's already gone. The new one they're telling you to get does not even address the variant that's here. So that ought to tell you what.
There's a selling point for you right there, right?
Yeah. On their website, YouTube, on their website, there's a new mutant, how you say that? Dengue outbreak in Bangladesh. I found out it's not Bangladesh, it's Bangladesh. Bangladesh is worst ever in the country, killing 600. And of course, they blame climate change. The disease has changed its characteristics, so do mosquitoes too. They've adapted and become more stronger and prevalent. And now we see the dengue is not an urban problem anymore. The government database now records cases from every corner of the country. Bangladesh is battling its worst dengue outbreak on record, with more than 600 people killed, 135,000 cases since April, the World Health Organization said. One of the experts blamed the climate crisis and El Nino weather pattern for driving the surge.
Wow.
Trust the science. Trust the science.
Did you say more stronger?
More, yeah. Yeah.
I'm not sure you can say that.
I just said it.
I know. You read the article.
I have my own language.
No. Did the article say? Never mind.
What? Where?
More stronger.
Did I say that?
Yes, you said that, but I'm not sure that's grammatically correct.
Well, I just was reading what they said.
I know.
Okay, it wasn't my fault. Okay.
They're
All
going to
right.
fire us. Let's move on before everybody out there just
Don't
fires
don't
us.
quit us. Don't quit us because we still got Jimmy in the wings.
Is he coming tonight?
Jimmy's coming
You gonna
tonight.
let him out of the closet?
Jimmy's coming out of the closet. Jimmy's coming, y'all. And
I
there's
hope
some crazy stuff after
I
Jimmy
hope
tonight.
he brings snacks. Maybe.
Well, speaking of, what's going on here in America, New York City, the CDC, and the White House are performing simulated training exercises for deadly Marburg virus similar to Ebola. Marburg. Is that like the guy, the actor? Marburg? What's his name?
I don't know, but Billy Mitchell says Alabama Ease.
That's right, baby.
Marburg.
I'm thinking about the actor, it's the brothers. They're famous actors. It sounds like Marburg. What's his name? He used to be a rapper, and then he became an actor. Am I saying that right? Come on.
The Wayans brothers?
No, his brother plays in the
Never mind.
Never mind. Y'all they know what I'm talking about. Marlboro? It's not
If
Marlboro. That's a
anybody-
cigarette. Oh,
How did we get on cigarettes?
it's Marlboro.
If you guys know what he's talking about, somebody
The
please
two brothers.
chime in.
One of them was on the
Okay, it'll come back to me in a minute.
Wahlberg. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Wahlberg.
Marburg, Wahlberg. Yeah, right. Okay.
I think I might be.
Perfect.
I'm food deficit drunk.
Well, Delane's
I'm
here.
food
We
deficit
can
drunk.
start the show now. Delane's here.
The party's here.
Anyway.
Over the last few years.
Marburg preceded Ebola.
Okay.
So they're both hemorrhagic fevers.
Oh, Lord. I mean, we just lost about 25, 30 viewers. But our faithful are not only staying with us, they're helping a brother out. They're telling me how to say things. They're telling me how to pronounce things.
Yeah.
Over the last few years, we have experienced unprecedented emergencies due to weather events, accidents, and health emergencies, each providing valuable lessons for the next, and exercises like today's play the same role by enabling us to learn and be better prepared for the next one, the emergency manager. So they're practicing for Marburg.
You mean doing tabletop exercises like Event 201 and what is it? Catastrophic contagion?
Yep, they got us flagged. By the way, that night that everything went crazy, one of the things that got us flagged was catastrophic contagion. They didn't want that out. And that it literally came up that's what got us flagged.
My goodness.
But let's say one thing about Maui tonight, because we're not going to forget them. We're not going to forget them. This article got my attention. It says, top climate scientist drops bombshell. Wildfires caused by WEF, World Economic Forum, arsonist, not global warming. And this is, of course, an opinion piece. A top climate scientist has blown the whistle about how wildfires around the world are being deliberately orchestrated by globalist elite to promote their global warming narrative. Patrick Brown, a senior lecturer at Johns Hopkins University, are they not the ones that did the simulated tabletops as well? Claims that the majority of the devastating wildfires are caused by activists working on behalf of global elites. Brown also revealed that leading academic journals reject scientific papers that contradict the World Economic Forum's green agenda narrative. He says journals instead promote, quote, distorted research, which hypes up the fake dangers of so-called global warming. Brown said editors at Nature and Science, two of the most prestigious scientific journals, select, quote, climate papers that support certain pre-approved narratives, end quote. In an article for the Free Press, Brown likened the approach to the way the, quote, press focused so intently on climate change as the root cause, end quote, of wildfires, including the recent devastating fires in Hawaii. He pointed out research proves that 80% of wildfires are ignited by humans. His research points out that 80% of wildfires are ignited by humans. According to Brown, most fires are caused by arson, while many are ignited accidentally by humans. In many cases, the wildfires spread quickly due to poor forestry management. We've talked about that before. Brown admits that he has faked his own studies to get the papers published in prestigious journals. He's like, it's the only way I can get published is I've got to say things that they want to hear. He gave the example of a paper he recently authored titled Climate Warming Increases Extreme Daily Wildfire Growth Risk in California. He said the paper, which was published in Nature last week, focused exclusively on how climate change has affected extreme wildfire behavior. He admits that the study ignored other key factors. He goes on to say in this story that he was admitting, he said he intentionally omitted the full truth to fit the green agenda narrative. He was testing them. He was seeing if they will fall for this. He made the confession, I left out the full truth to get my climate change paper published, is what the article was called. I mean, when you've got to stage and remove facts to get your paper published in a scientific journal,
Right.
and your experiment works, what does that say about the facts that we are being given?
Okay. Well, what it says to me is we know that 6 corporations own the news outlets like, television news. Do those same people also own print news? And we've heard many times that if universities want to keep the money train going, there's certain things they can't say. There are certain findings they can't release, or all the grant money will be cut off.
Exactly. And I think that they're getting so brazen, Sandy. You're so right that they are slipping up and I think some of it's slipping up. I think some of it is being empowered.
Some of it's intentional.
Some of it's
I believe
intentional.
some of it is intentional. Because it does seem at times that they're talking out of both sides of their mouth, right?
This is a slip up here. I think this is a slip up.
Waiting to see when you were going to release this.
So I was watching this live. This is the news show that I was telling you I was
you need
watching.
to lay out who this is and where this is.
Okay, this is Governor Green holding, which is Governor Green. He's holding a Q&A with reporters.
He's the Maui.
He's the governor of Hawaii.
Governor of Hawaii,
He's the governor of Hawaii.
I'm thinking mayor. He is the governor, yes.
So he's the one that has the right to do the executive orders.
Right.
The emergency orders. And he's taking these questions, and if you remember earlier in the program, if you were with us, I was talking about he was just saying it's all about climate change. It's all about climate change. So this person's watching it too, and recording with their phone, and at the end you can hear her talking too. So just look over that, and it's difficult to hear because she's going through a phone speaker. So I'll try to turn it up, but he slips up and almost says what we've been covering here for the last several weeks on the Maui fires, that they were planning on making it a smart city. Listen to the governor of Hawaii.
So visceral and so tragic, no legislator would avoid the issue. Everyone will focus on the issue. Now, hopefully, it won't just be 1 year worth. The problem we have, of course, is we are now in it. We are in an era of global, climate change. And what we do in Hawaii, we will be able to lead by example as far as mitigating efforts and our pain. When people see the pain that we have suffered, they're going to take us seriously. It's an unusual thing for a person like me to get to speak to a very broad audience, a broad international audience, but I will make this case. Smart
He said it.
Legislatures.
Smart cities.
She's like, just go ahead and say it.
Did you catch that? Smart cities.
Fire mitigation.
He says, when I go to the United Nations, I'm going to back it up again, I'm going to make the case for smart governments. He literally says, I'm going to make the case for smart cities. What's this?
Smart
He said it.
legislatures. Cool thing for a person like me to get to speak to a very broad audience.
He's talking about the United Nations.
A broad international audience, but I will make this case. Smart
He literally was about to say smart cities, Sandy.
Yeah.
The man was about to say, I'm going to make the case.
It certainly sounds like it. And Repent or Perish says, Jump Smart Maui 2017. So
Yes.
So Monique is talking about a volcano. It is Dutch Sense, SINSE, I think, on YouTube. But she's talking about a volcano this morning in Hawaii. I haven't heard anything about that.
Yeah, it's the main one on the Big Island. It's erupting again.
Kilauea?
Kilauea. I saw it this morning. Kilauea is spouting out. I saw it on our morning news this morning. They covered it. They were showing that it was erupting again, and I was just like, wow. But let's go back to that.
Yeah.
What he was saying. He was saying it's unusual for a man of my stature to ever dream to be able to speak to such an audience as the United Nations.
He's so proud of himself.
He's so proud of himself. He said, and because of what we are experiencing, I am going to make the case before them for smart legislation. And he catches himself. And I'm telling you, that's what this is about. That's what this has been about. You know, you can debate on, you know, power lines going down. You could, whatever. You know, let me tell you something. They're smart enough to let power lines go down to start a fire, knowing it's going to, and not have to go out there with a match. But watch this. Whether it was started by humans or not, by lasers, by microwave,
right.
When you look at what Eric West and others, but mainly Eric, has covered, and you see those buildings, and you see those cars, and you see no fire around them, and you see them literally melted down to nothing. We were asking the question. We were looking at the houses, the few drone footage right at the beginning before they shut it down.
Yep.
Where are the appliances? Where are the refrigerators standing up?
Where's the metal garage door twisted into a pile of metal? Yeah.
Like you see in every house fire.
Exactly.
Everything is leveled white ash. Everything is gone. So you can let your mind go everywhere.
How hot does a fire have to burn that everything inside the home collapses down into a pile of ash?
Yes, exactly. And where is even the black ash?
Yeah.
Where is the black ash from a fire? The trees are not burned. The houses are white ash like you see at a campfire when everything is gone and it's down to nothing but the coals and it's just turned to ash. Every house looks that way. Cars look that way. So you can let your mind go anywhere you want to go, and wherever and however it started, however it was accelerated, there are major questions when it comes to that. But there is no question what happened after. They shut it down. They put walls up. They put no-fly zones in. Yep. They made an executive order that and told the police, don't let nobody pull off the side of a road. I mean, I was thinking about it the other day. I was just traveling down the road. I was like, that's like it being against the law for me to pull off of this road right here, a main road, get out with my phone and take a picture of a house that burned. That is what they told Eric. And they wouldn't even let him pay the fine. They said, you got to go to a court and stand before a judge because you pulled off the side of a road and ask a question. He didn't even video that day. The day he got the citation, he just asked him, hey, I'm on my way to a funeral for one of the ones that died in the fire. Can you tell me what the law is that you ran me off the last time I was here? And that caused him to go through all that. All that being said, then you have the governor trying to give a press conference, so brazen, so brass, no compassion, laughing and cutting up in the press conference, and then ask about the people and the rights of the people. Well, I have an executive order, and he goes on to say in that news conference, the executive order does not just cover the danger of the fire. Guess what? A lot of people don't know this. Much of the executive order was issued 3 weeks prior to the fire. The climate emergency was issued 3 weeks prior to the fire. So many of the laws that they have put in place are from that emergency declaration that was 3 weeks prior to the fire.
Everything that happened afterward, the media blackout. Nobody can give us some solid reporting from the site. It's just ridiculous.
It is. It is.
While people still are asking the question, of course, where are the children? It's hard to believe that this can go on.
It is. And, he addressed that. He addressed that, many of the children are accounted for and all this. And when he was pushed, well, give us the documentation of, well, the numbers are correct. The numbers are correct. We've got that number down now, the missing numbers down to this. But still no emphatic answer. How did you have 3,000 kids in school a few days before this started, and now you got 600 accounted for in school and 400 homeschooled? How do you weigh that? And it's like, we're not going to cover that. Let's move on. Next question. Yep. And the world just moves on.
All these lame answers and excuses as to why no siren or alarm sounded. Why was the water cut off? Why were streets blocked where people couldn't get out?
Exactly. Well, part of that control, Sandy, we've talked about it. We've been covering this from day one, and that is the digital ID and the CBDC that's coming. Finland, the nation of Finland, has launched its first EU digital ID travel route, allowing travelers now to travel with a digital ID instead of a license or passport. Literally, you leave your passport at home and just show your phone. There's no chance that that could ever be hacked. There's no chance that someone could come into your country and override the system that's been in place for hundreds of years where you had to have a picture and you had to have documentation. No longer. Now you can just use a digital ID. Nothing could go wrong here.
We've been seeing this in the movies for the last 35 years. You just get in on the computer and start changing names and dates and anything. Yeah.
Billy Mitchell says he's getting server errors. So they're starting on us again. They're hitting us again. So the EU chief calls on the world leaders to usher in global digital ID. This woman right here is evil. She's the president, the commission president of the European Union. Every time you see her, she's got World Economic Forum behind her, but she's the director of the European Union. But she is all in with WEF. The unelected head of European Union EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, she's the one that she was pranked. Remember when we did the prank? They did the prank call on her and pranked her into admitting that they were going to limit how much cash you had. And if you tried to have more cash than that, they would penalize you.
That's only been a couple of weeks ago.
Only a couple of weeks ago. And so, but she's the one that's pushing it. Yeah. She's wants to begin ushering a global digital ID system for the public. The EU chief made the call during an address before the one future session of the G20 summit in India that just ended just yesterday. The powerful bureaucrat gloated about digital infrastructure that the EU had created for their vaccine passports. She continued to note that the same system created for vaccine passports is now being updated to support global digital identification. While describing the future will be digital, she called for global institutions to regulate AI and coming global digital ID. Today, I want to focus on AI and digital infrastructure. As it has been described, AI has risks, but also tremendous opportunities. The crucial question is how to harness a rapidly changing technology. We should establish a framework for safe, responsible AI with a similar body. Digital public infrastructures are an accelerator of growth. They must be trusted. They must be trusted and open to all. So how many in the live chat will trust the government when they tell us this is the most secure digital system and your information is private and will never be shared? Wow.
Nope, not going to trust it.
Not going to trust it. Not going to trust it. And even at the G20, this is the whole G20 came on board with her. The G20 announced yesterday as well their plan for digital currency. The group of 20, which includes the world's leading economies, has agreed to build the infrastructure for digital currency and digital identification, despite criticism that it will lead to more government control, you think, over people's lives. But India's presidency has put on the table key issues related to regulating and understanding for a framework. It goes on to say that the critical issues discussed at the meeting were building digital infrastructure, digital economy, CBDC currencies, and the World Bank, of course, is so happy. In a report prepared for the G20 summit, the World Bank praised India's use of the digital public infrastructure to enhance financial inclusion and delivery of public goods and services. So it's almost here, Sandy. It's almost upon us. Digital, we can say, well, I'm not going to be a part of. Look, I get it. We're going to fight it to the end as well. The truth is, we got to figure out how to survive in this world because this world is coming.
We do. My goodness, it's coming fast. Do you think some crisis, maybe not exactly like COVID, but they're going to, little by little, they're moving us in that direction. But do you think something big is waiting in the wings to really help secure the deal?
Oh, yeah. And
push it all the rest of the way through to the goal line?
And I think it's going to be what is commonly known in the political world in America as the October surprise. I believe something major is happening, and I think it's not by chance that the emergency system is going to be tested on October 4th, which is basically 1 month, almost exactly to the, 1 year, I should say, to the presidential election 1 year away. It's going to usher in something. There'll be local elections here. Next year will be the election. So, what's going to happen in the October surprise of next year, I don't know. But I believe we got an October surprise coming in this year as well. That's going to usher in the beginning of the wham wham. And who knows what's going to happen in October of next year, which is the October surprise. I think we're going to have 2 October surprises. And I think we're going to have something major happen in October. Here, I believe that's why they're testing that early on and not doing it next year. I believe something major is going to happen globally. October, November of this year, we're going to be full-blown in it. By Christmas time, it's going to spill over into the election year, and it's going to cause people calling for people to stay home, calling for paper ballots, calling for all of this, and it's going to lead right up to a major October surprise in 2024. That's my opinion.
So you've already worked all this out. Okay.
Yeah. And, hey, for the record, YouTube and all algorithms and even people. Just my opinion. Not telling anybody. Not a financial advisor. Not a geopolitical advisor. Just giving my opinion.
My goodness.
Leanne said to you, Sandy, something is definitely coming. And I think that we know that, and we all know that. Banks worldwide are increasingly becoming dictatorships as they are beginning to forcibly shut down more and more accounts. I want you to listen to this. This is pre-digital currency. This is already happening. This is how crazy now these banks are becoming. They're absolutely nuts. They have become dictatorships. You will see where this is going. Bank and financial institutions across the Western world are increasingly shutting down personal accounts at an increasing rate. Just recently, economic forecaster and analyst Neil McCoy Ward, who moved from England to the Isle of Man, relatively not that long ago, had a slew of his bank accounts terminated suddenly for no reason, no apparent reason, he revealed. And I'm not going to read this whole article for time purposes, but you go all the way down here and it shows multiple other people. These are people that went on YouTube saying that their narrative did not match the narrative of the woke agenda. And one day they woke up to check their balances. It was all gone. The bank had shut it down. Some of them have opportunities to come get their money, put it somewhere else. Some are still trying to recover their money. And who knew that in the agreement, when you signed to open your account, that you gave them the ability to just say, no, you can't have your money anymore. We don't like you.
Well, we keep hearing these strange and terrible reports about our own bank of direct deposits not showing up in people's accounts.
Yes.
The system's down. You can't access any information about your account and all kinds of other crazy stories.
Exactly. And here's another crazy story, because on that same line, Australia, and we got some people watching from Australia right now. Maybe you can confirm that you know this is happening. But Australia has contracted with MasterCard and others to test CBDC payment systems used to facilitate carbon credit unions. So what this is, and I'm not even going to read this article. I'm going to rapid fire the next few articles here.
More green gospel stuff?
It is, and it's more control, and it's more social credit score system where they are programming this money to turn it on and turn it off whenever they want to. Well, our world is changing so rapidly, y'all. Yes. It is so rapid. It is like you cannot – we go Monday to Monday on this show.
And we can't believe it from week to week. It's like the ground is eroding underneath our feet.
People are saying they're getting thrown off the internet right now. The internet are disconnected. We're on a list. If you're going to be a part of the Big Picture family, welcome to the Big Picture family. They don't like this going out. They want to stop this channel before it blows up. This channel right now needs to be in front of the whole world. I don't say this for our own. I'm saying because nobody's doing this, especially a husband-wife duo, and through a kingdom of God perspective, covering these things that awaken your eye. We need to blow this thing up. We need everybody watching the live or the replay to commit to copy and paste this link into 5 texts text 5 people, not share on Facebook. You can still do that, but text 5 people, copy, paste this link, and say, watch this program, watch this program. If you do that, I'm telling you, we can get around this algorithm and we can wake some people up. And by the way, every Thursday night and this coming Thursday night, Ricky Scaparo, several just came off his show, End Time Headlines. I talked to Ricky extensively on the phone today. He's a great friend of mine. We was talking about the show that's coming Thursday night. It's going to be huge. God has dropped some things in him about what's happening in Israel. So I want everybody to be back here Thursday night. Of course, we have our Bible study Wednesday night as well. One thing that just was crazy to me, this is a sign that the world really is changing. McDonald's is now doing away. They're phasing out all self-serve soda fountains because of theft and hygiene concerns, but really because of theft. People are just, let me tell you what's happening. People are walking in off the streets with a cup, walking straight in.
Wow.
And they're refilling their cup and walking back out. And just like the smash and grabs, they can't do anything about it. And people know they can't do anything about it. So there's nothing that's stopping it.
What was that ridiculous story you were telling me when we were leaving the hospital today? A child, a very young person.
Not children, not a child.
Multiple children.
Multiple children are now breaking and entering, and they robbed several pubs in one of our larger cities, and they were robbing the cash registers. I mean, kids, elementary and junior high kids, they're sticking the money in their pockets, and they were being threatened. We're going to arrest you. And the owner said the kids were screaming, you can't arrest me. We're kids. The cops can't arrest us. We're kids. They can't do anything about it. We're kids. They can't do anything to us. So you got children in the elementary and middle school are breaking and entering and stealing from business and mocking the cops.
Which probably means the leader of the gang that they're probably in sent them in there and told them, you're young, you're kids.
Yep.
They can't do hardly anything to you.
It's true. It's true.
So they're probably just repeating what they were told.
Jimmy's almost up here. Y'all don't leave yet. Jimmy's about to come, but I'm going to really have to mess you up with this next one. I'm sorry.
Yay.
You're going to love this image. Speaking of our children, look at that. Now you automatically know what that is. That's a drag queen. But what you may not know is this. Oklahoma Elementary School hires this drag queen to be their principal. This is the principal of the elementary school in Oklahoma. A superintendent of Oklahoma School District is calling for the immediate termination of a recently hired elementary school principal who performs, it gets worse, as a drag queen and has faced child charges in the past. This is a doctor, Shane Mernon, 52, performs as Chantel Mandalay at a venue called The Boom. Thank you for that super chat. Saul is still on fire.
What?
He's still on fire. God's going to bless you so big, Saul. You better get ready. Hosting Thirsty Thursdays. I'm not even going to comment. And Sunday night karaoke. Participate in Drag Queen Story Hour with children. Was named the new principal of John Glenn Elementary in Oklahoma. This is our world.
So this is his attire for his nighttime gig.
This is for Thirsty Thursdays. Okay. I want to ask the mothers and daddies of Oklahoma, what are you doing? I hope that you are going crazy right now. But more than Oklahoma, I promise you this is in every city. There's people that want to do this in every city. And don't think if you're in the country or if you're in the South that it ain't there, because it's there too.
Yeah.
It's there too.
Absolutely.
We've got this going on in Alabama. We've got this going on in rural countries where there's nothing but cow pastures. We got drag queens trying to do storytime hour. It is happening everywhere because the church people don't want to get involved in politics, and the church people want to be so sweet and kind and not say anything.
All inclusive, yeah.
Yeah. How's that working? How's that working, America? How's being sweet and kind and tolerant working for you? Because the ones that call you intolerant are the most intolerant. You can't preach Jesus on the streets without getting arrested. You can't pull off the side of the road and take a picture of a burnt car that's probably hit by something out of space. Yeah. But you can dress up a man, a 52-year-old man can dress up like this and teach children, read children a book, and be the principal? What in the world?
Yeah. And CJ said he wasn't that thirsty, so.
I'm definitely not that thirsty. And I'm going to tell you something. I hope, we've always heard, as California goes, so the nation goes. Yeah. In a lot of ways that we've seen that truth. Saying we've seen things happen in California, and we'd be like, well, I guarantee you right now, that ain't ever going past California. And it every time.
Yeah.
Well, guess what just happened in California? I guarantee you most of you don't know this. California just became the first state of the union to recognize, I want you to hear this, Transgender History Month. Not day, month. Do we not already have a Pride Month?
We have Pride Month in June. We really should not be that surprised that this is happening.
We really shouldn't. I believe that as Californians, our strongest defense against the anti-trans agenda is just to tell the truth. Let's tell the truth about transgender people's lives, and let's lift up the history of the transgender Californians who left their mark on our great state. California has become the first United States state to establish a Transgender History Month. On Wednesday, the State Assembly voted in favor of House Resolution 57, introduced late last month by State Assembly Matt Haney from San Francisco, to recognize August as Transgender History Month beginning in 2024. So I want you to think about what I'm saying. And this is not hate speech, this is facts. You have one day of the year celebrating the independence of our country. Right. You have one day of the year celebrating mothers, one day celebrating fathers.
Come on.
One day celebrating the resurrection
Come on.
of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
The birth of our Lord and Savior.
One day for the birth of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And a month celebrating sexual choices. Yes. Some say perversion. The Bible says sin. A whole month where everybody's logos are changed to rainbows. Right. Target and all the stuff that we covered. A whole month. Now, California says, although, and I'm sure I'm getting flagged left and right, LGBTQ plus IA, somewhere in there is the T, right?
Yes.
So they're already in there. So are they not covered in June? But now we got to have August just for them.
Right.
Well, I know it sounds like I'm being funny, and I'm trying to be funny from being what I want to say. Is what's going to happen to the LGBs? I mean, they're going to be like, we already included you in ours. We didn't used to be in ours. We put you in ours. And now you're going to get your own month? Well, the L's are going to want their month. The G's going to want to be their month. The B's going to want to be. And look, we got 12 months in the whole year.
Right. Well, we did not see this coming. How many years ago when the whole bathroom issue
What just happened?
Popped?
What is that?
What was that? Did you guys see that? Whoa, what?
What just happened?
Did you guys see that?
Did y'all see a gigantic fluorescent thumbs up?
Popping up.
What was that? That scared me. It was gigantic.
It was gigantic.
It came out of nowhere. I didn't touch anything.
Beside your face.
It was beside my face. It was like the Holy Spirit was going, go boy, go boy. Preach
Pushing
it.
you in the
Preach
back.
it.
Go, go, go. But we didn't see this coming, 5, 6, however many years ago it was when it started with the whole bathroom thing. Yeah, I don't think we could have seen it turning into an entire month.
Let's not forget the bathroom thing. Yeah. Let's not forget that President Obama sent, and let's keep that in mind, knowing what's in the news recently, whether fact or not, what's being reported, sent a letter while he was president.
So Francois saw a big flashing thumbs up.
Okay. I don't know who did that. I got to find out who did that. to every public school in the entire United States, proclaiming we will withhold funds if you do not let every child go in the bathroom of their choice. Now, there was an uproar. People pushed back, but it was the test. Mm-hmm. So look
where we are now. How many years later?
Yeah. Some people are saying they saw it. Some people say they didn't. That was freaky. That was freaky. But I liked it. Whoever did it or whatever did, it was cool. It wasn't a thumbs down. It was a big, giant, blue, fluorescent. I mean, you see how big am I right? Wasn't it not that big?
It was pretty big.
There it is again.
Doing it again.
Who's doing that?
Who is doing that?
Is this something new? Who's doing that? There it goes. Oh, thumbs down. What?
Okay.
Who has hacked my feed? Who is doing that? Somebody just gave me a thumbs down. Are y'all seeing this? I'm freaking out live on the air. Somebody said I saw it. Somebody confess. I dare you. You just hit a thumbs down. I'm double dog dare you. Who did it? Who did it? Show yourself.
Anyway.
I think it's time for Jimmy. Oh, Jimmy. Jimmy. Freaky stuff.
Coming out of the closet, folks.
I think we ought to play him again. Play him again, Jimmy.
Play it again.
Jimmy.
He's here in a big way.
Jimmy. Somebody out. Give Jimmy a shout out. All right.
Okay.
All right. Somebody's saying, I see it now. But nobody knows who's doing it. Flashing lights. Nobody knows who's doing it. It's AI. Jimmy has it's Jimmy, Sandy. It's Jimmy.
Maybe he was trying to send us a message.
Jimmy he's in the system. He's like, I'm here. Dudes, that thing was that big. It was that big. It wasn't these little tiny. There it is again. Who's doing that? Who just hit that? Did somebody just hit the like button? Is that the new like button? Sandy, I'm freaking out.
If it is, why would it start in the middle of the show?
There goes a like. I saw a like going. That was just a normal like. This is freaky.
Okay.
All right. Maybe it's a Rumble. Maybe Rumble is doing something. I don't know. A Rumble, are y'all doing it? Okay, here we go. Jimmy brought us in. So we got it's a supernatural AI update.
That's right.
Jimmy's trying to tell us that very soon classrooms are now believed to be going to be completely replaced by computer-simulated 3D worlds within 25 years. Please, it ain't going to be 25 years. Experts have warned that classrooms will be classrooms, not teachers, entire classrooms will be completely replaced by computer-simulated 3D worlds within 25 years.
My goodness.
A research commissioned by Ghost student has predicted how Brits' pulpits, I'm a preacher, pupils will be taught in 2 decades. This is like the worst English language performance of my life, show of my life.
Miss McCurry.
Yes, thank you, Miss McCurry. She would be so mad at
tearing
me.
you up right now.
Delane is so disappointed in me, my grammar guru. The virtual environments will enable paleontology students to walk among dinosaurs in the wild, marine study scholars to observe ocean life underwater, and astronomy classes to be hosted on board a starship. Ain't gonna lie. If I was a kid, sounds pretty cool.
Sounds kind of cool.
That you'll learn about dinosaurs, and then you'll go into the world of the dinosaurs and say they look like this. Reach out and touch them.
They want to craft a world where we live in goggles.
They really do.
VR goggles.
Yeah.
Headsets.
Yeah. So people are still giving us thumbs up. Thank you so much. But I hadn't seen the big one yet. So I think they're trying to make it happen. I don't know how it happened. No. Now, see, this next one, and we've got, just stay with us a few more minutes because we've got two more after this one that is, we've saved the best for last. And I do want to remind you that if you like to study the Bible, Wednesday night, I'm having an in-depth Bible study I do every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Central Time on YouTube and Facebook. It's the only thing we do on Facebook, and I encourage you to be a part of that Bible study because we have been getting in some deep stuff. But now, I don't know how far you want to go here.
Really, you're asking me?
Yeah, exactly. Because you are the one that started talking to me about what you are hearing about the dangers of smart meters. And I don't, like I said, let's walk lightly here, but smart meters are becoming very prevalent. And this article is saying in the UK is forcing smart meters on everyone. It goes on to say that on September 5th, 2023, the UK Parliament quietly approved a new bill that paves the way towards forcing British citizens to have smart meters installed in their home. Paves the way for electrical appliances like fridges, dishwashers, and washers to be fitted with smart functions. The key to smart functionality is that these appliances can be operated externally, quote, in response to load signals, end quote. Meaning that smart meters could soon allow your energy to be rationed remotely or even cut off completely.
Hello.
The state intends to impose smart meters on all electricity consumers by the end of 2025. And if they don't do it, they'll be facing a 15,000 pound fine. And the replacement of traditional gas and electricity meters with smart meters is an essential way, they say, for the infrastructure upgrade for Great Britain. Now, what this is more and more programmability. Right. They want to be able to program your money.
It's essentially control, but social credit scores, well, you haven't been good this week or this month. We're going to ration your, availability to electricity or water or gas, or maybe we'll just cut you off completely.
Yeah. It goes on to say this right here. It says their focus is on installing the smart meters in the remaining non-smart customers by the end of 2025, which can only mean that they will now have to ramp up the pressure for all of us to get them against our will. Utility companies claim that smart meters deliver benefits to consumers, but we know that's a lie. And one example is in the Netherlands, consumers are barely saving 1% on their energy bill, far above the projected amount. Failing to deliver benefits is one thing, but smart meter radiation also comes with significant health and safety concerns. Smart meters are responsible for, quote, catastrophic effects, end quote, on the health of individuals and animals. Surely it's down to the individual to choose to take the risk for a few pounds. So they're saying that there are signals emanating. Thank you for that super chat, Janice. Thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. You guys are such a blessing.
Yes.
But it has to, right now it's just, a meter is just tracking power usage. But these meters are not just emanating signal to the power company. It's emanating signal to the utilities and the refrigerator, the dishwasher, the washing machine, turning it off or on and having the power for the power company to hit your meter. Am I saying this right? And then turn your dishwasher off as punishment.
It's so strange. And I haven't heard that many people talk about the dangers to your health, the health risk or whatever, but I have heard that, and it's a concern. But ultimately, it's about all this control. And I guess it makes sense when we're talking about, well, there's possible brownouts and blackouts coming. They're going to totally turn the power off. They're going to blame it on an EMP. All these things we've heard over the last 2 or 3 years. We can see now why maybe we're hearing them. Yeah. Maybe it makes more sense now.
Exactly. It does. Now, staying on the AI, this article is very concerning. It says AI, and we've talked about this, but they're beginning to say it out loud, and genetic engineering could trigger a super wah-wah, warns AI expert. Mustafa, I think of Mustafa every time I read his name. Mufasa. What did I say? Mustafa. I said his actual name. Mufasa. Oh, the circle of life. Mustafa Suleiman, the billionaire co-founder of Google DeepMind AI technology, has warned that a super pandemic developed through AI and genetic engineering is one of the biggest threats facing the planet. He made the warning in an episode of the Diary of a CEO podcast. According to Suleiman, The ability to engineer a deadly pandemic such as the wah from the city of Wah could potentially become commonplace before the end of the decade. He added that the next 5 years or so, a regular person could easily download, listen to this, the instruction set for a pandemic that's, quote, more lethal than anything the world has encountered so far. He warned that this is why the world needs containment. Basically, he's saying in a few years, people are going to be able to go to ChatGPT and tell him, show me how to make a wah to destroy people's lives.
Design me a pandemic.
Design me a pandemic. And I'll just be living in my mama's basement and I'll become famous because they'll call the wah my name because I'm the one that created it and ChatGPT helped me. What in the world, Sandy?
We've lost our collective minds.
We have, Sandy.
Oh, my goodness.
Something dangerous like anthrax can't be bought over the internet, making it hard to freely experiment with. But while it is difficult to turn anthrax into a weapon of mass destruction, it is possible to grow the bacteria in a lab and distribute small quantities piecemeal through the mail. And people can... Through the mail. And people can get their ingredients, little piecemeal this and that. And technology, Suleiman added, is crucial to, quote, limit access to the tools and the know-how to carry out that kind of experimentation. You used to have to go and become a physicist or a scientist. Now all you got to do is just have a keyboard. That's what they're trying to tell us is coming.
Yes.
What in the world?
There's so many terrible things we haven't even thought of that somebody's out there thinking of and figuring out.
Well, one other thing I want to show you before I show you the last one. The last one is going to blow your mind. You're going to be talking about this last one when you get off.
Stick around for that, folks.
When you get off the air, you're going to look at your spouse or look in the mirror at yourself, and you're going to be like, did I just hear what I think I just heard? Yes, you will say that. But what we want you to do before you go to bed tonight, set an alarm to do it first thing in the morning. Go to LarryRagland.tv, LarryRagland.com. When you go there for a gift of any amount to help our television ministry, many of you know that we're now on Christian television, in addition to the Big Picture YouTube. You'll click on this. You'll see the cover of our brand new book, I See Greatness in You, that many of you are commenting. I've already seen you just got your copy. You can't wait to read it. Please, when you finish reading it, go to Amazon and review it and let us know how you felt about it. But when you click on this or click on the book, it takes you to a page where it gives you an opportunity to give through PayPal. You can give a one-time, monthly, or yearly gift to our television ministry. And all proceeds go to Larry Ragland Ministries for our television ministry, and you also get a copy of the book. So basically, if you'd like to get a copy of the book, whatever you want to give for it, go ahead. We trust that you'll sow what the Lord puts on your heart, and whatever it is you're going to get a book when you go through this link for a one-time gift of any amount. Or if you'd like to become a monthly partner or even give an annual one-time gift and remind you every year to give towards our ministry, you can set all that up here through PayPal, and that will go to us. And it will be a great, great appreciation. And, of course, there's other things that you can see on our website there, our merchandise. You can go look at all of our I See Greatness in You, as well as don't leave me yet because I've got one more news article to show you. When you click on that, you'll not only see I See Greatness in You merchandise, if it will work. It's not working. There we go. Come on. You'll also see our Awake, Not Woke. And we ain't woke, but we certainly are awake. All of that is here. You can see you can get coffee mugs. You can get T-shirts, sweatshirts, long sleeve shirts. Get ready for the winter. Stickers. Saw several people said they just got their stickers in. They just got their T-shirts in. There it is. That's how we close the show tonight. We ain't woke. We are certainly awake. You can now get it on sweatshirts, pullovers, T-shirts. All of it's there. Mugs, bags. You can walk around with a bag telling everybody you see greatness in them. And they'll be like, what in the world does that mean? So that's all there at LarryRagland.com. And we appreciate everybody that takes the time to go there and become a partner and sow into our ministry. Well, we got one more that, Sandy, I believe is one of the most breaking news, shocking news things that we've ever covered. This is what AI was meant for. This is why those computer geeks sit there and created code because AI has given us the power and our government the power. The United States government is investing $22 million to develop smart ePANTS. Yes, pants. Surveillance-based underwear. Oh, my God. I've already read this article, and I can't believe I'm reading it again. Surveillance-based underwear and fabrics. The United States federal government is devoting $22 million in a new form of surveillance that is called smart ePANTS.
Or smarty pants.
Or smarty pants. You beat me to it. That's what they're called. Smarty pants.
Oh, my goodness.
A fabric. A fabric that allows the end user to track and record audio. There's so much going through my mind right now. Record audio, visual, and geolocation evidence. This is not parody. The Intelligence Advanced Research Projects Activity, IARPA, the intelligence correlative of the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA, is managing these smart electronically powered and network textile systems. Smart. From their website, the Smarty Pants program seeks to develop clothing. It's almost like I would be reading this on April 1st. This seems like an April Fool's joke, but we verified it. We went to the website. Okay. Seeks to develop clothing, Sandy, clothing with integrated in the clothing audio, video, and geolocation sensor systems that feature the same stretchability, bendability, washability, and comfort of regular textiles. By weaving these devices directly into garments, the intelligence community staff will be able to record information from the environment hands-free without the need to wear uncomfortable, bulky,
Okay, look at
and
me.
rich devices.
Look at me. Do not even read the comments. Do not look at the look at the chat now. Continue.
I know I'm not going to look, but I know our big picture family is.
Oh, they're loving this.
They're class. It's just
loving
classic.
this.
They're loving this. I can't wait to go back and read this. I'm not going to look. I'm not going to look. You better stop looking too, because I'll lose you.
Okay.
I can't even hardly read this.
I know.
Especially when you think of the wording. Hands-free.
It's hard to keep a straight face.
Without the need to wear uncomfortable, bulky, and rigid devices. As a result, personnel will have greater range of motion.
Who are these people that think this is a great idea?
The Smarty Pants goal is to build sensors, smart sensors, that are comfortably integrated into primary clothing, shirts, pants, socks, and underwear. Sandy, I'm not going to look at the comments, but I'm just thinking.
We can read them together later.
Okay, I'm just thinking.
Dear God.
Why would you want to record sounds in underwear? I'm just imagining a guy coming home from work. He's tired, sits down in his chair, gets his sweet tea. He just got through eating a burrito.
Oh gosh. Well, I'll tell you this: Billy Mitchell.
What's going to happen when
Billy Mitchell is tearing this one up?
Is he in rare form?
Yeah, don't.
What?
Do not read what CJ just said.
Listen. This is a Christian show. Keep that in mind before I look over there. This is a Christian show.
We're trying to not be classless, but this is ridiculous.
This is a family show. I read this from a Christian website called The Wine Press. It's a Christian news site. I read it from a Christian news site. But there's going to be, when this happens, and it may already be happening, we don't even know it. There's people in the intelligence community going, Taco Bell, this is not going to be good for us tonight. He's in the Taco Bell drive-thru. He is wearing version 2.0 Smarty Pants. Just got the upgrade. He just ordered the cheesy burrito. It's going to be a long night.
No, what's going to be bad is when the buyers decide to send them back. That's going to be the really
Woo!
bad.
Sandy, what a show.
Yeah.
What a show.
What a day. What a show.
What a day. What a show.
What a life.
I'll tell you what I'm about to do, y'all. I'm about to go eat a burrito. Glad I ain't got no smarty pants. I'm going to Taco Bell, baby.
Oh, my goodness.
It's the only
You
thing
did
it's over.
not
It's
just
the only thing
say
it's over.
that.
I ain't got no smarty pants.
Oh.
I'm saying there's no other way to end this but to just say thank you, Uncle Jimmy, for just doing that because that's Uncle Jimmy's fault. That's part of the AI. It's AI underwear. And we've made it through 2 hours and 9 minutes again.
What?
And we want to tell all the super chats. We were blown up by super chats
Yes.
and super thanks tonight.
We
thank
are
you,
so
thank
thankful.
you, thank you,
we
thank
were
you,
so
thank you.
amazed by your generosity.
Yes.
This is amazing.
Thank you for everybody that will help us in our television ministry. We need several of you to become monthly partners for us. We got a lot more that we want to do just besides television. It costs money. We got some equipment we need to buy. Everything you can do to help us. And every dollar matters. It doesn't matter. Nothing too big, nothing too small. When you tell us that you love us, it means the world to us and it keeps us going. So I'm going to cut this off before more people can comment in the live chat. Sandy, any closing thoughts on this show tonight?
I think it's been one for the books.
One for the books.
Alicia, you did not just say that.
Oh, God. I had to look. I just saw Alicia. Oh, to my Big Picture family. We woke. We ain't wearing smarty pants.
No, we're not.
And we are certainly awake. God bless you.
Good night.